Psychic John Edward is best known for his former TV show called Crossing Over. He's now on a tour across the country, and he's coming to Rochester this spring.
Alexa's got a chance to talk with him about what to expect at the show.
So you are doing a tour, a couple shows. You're actually coming to Rochester later this year. What can people expect with the tour?
So a television show called Crossing Over was something that I hosted for a number of years, and that show was actually based on my live events. So if people are familiar with the TV show Crossing Over, then you kind of get an idea of what the event's going to be like in Rochester. So people come, I'm going to be able to explain a little bit about the process, help them understand how I, receive the information. I'm going to answer a few questions, and I'm going to read for as many people as I possibly can, and then the event will probably close with some more Q&A as well.
Yeah, how does the process work? How do you begin to, for those of us who aren't familiar with this, how do you read people and how do you connect with them or their loved ones or whatever they're seeking?
Okay, so as soon as I walk out, I'm already meditated and I've opened my energy up to be able to receive. It's kind of like turning on a radio to kind of tune in the frequency. So I become the radio and then I tune into the audience and then I kind of get a pull, and it literally feels like somebody's pulled me to a section. So I'll be like, I'm being pulled here. And then whatever I am thinking, seeing, hearing, feeling, I kind of interpret in my frame of reference to that person or to that row or to where I'm going. And then they're allowed to respond with yes or no. And then that's how the readings kind of unfold. And then it becomes somewhat of a game of tag where people that are in the same section will bring in other family members. And then it kind of feels like we're watching kind of like a family dynamic. Of course, things get revealed sometimes that you would never really want to kind of share with some other folks that you might not know.
Right.
So it's always fun. Let's put it that way.
Okay, so always never a dull moment. You said.
Oh no, never dull. Never dull.
And I know with the show Crossing Over, it seems people wanted to connect with loved ones that may have passed on, but that's not just all, right? You mentioned revealing things with the family dynamic. I mean, do you look into people's futures and what that holds?
Well, it's kind of all connected. So it's like when somebody comes through, like if somebody named, James comes through for you and he starts talking about the fact that there's an issue with the car and that we're going to have the brakes checked, and then next thing you know is like there's something happening with the sister-in-law on, the family, and there's a dynamic happening there. These start to become foundational elements about your life. And then whatever it is that actually comes through with that now could be validated by dad who's passed, talking about, the name James, or who's having the issue with the car or the issue with the in-laws over the holidays and blah, 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 blah. That helps to validate that as the medium, I'm actually tuning into your family and your frequency as opposed to the person across the room over there.
Does that ever get awkward for you as you're bringing up something or you're discovering something and you're bringing something out that someone else didn't know about? And you mentioned the family dynamic and how things can get pretty interesting. I mean, does that get awkward for you, kind of caught in the middle a little bit?
A little bit, but I kind of feel like they're there. And they've put themselves in the position of allowing me to be able to do this. And there are moments where I know that there's something private that I'll say, do I have your permission to be, personal? And then they'll say yes, and then we move forward. And just recently, somebody said to me on Twitter, they said, I came to your event, you told me I was adopted, and I said, no, I'm not. She said I wound up doing a DNA test, and she found out she was adopted. So she actually found out at the event that she was actually adopted.
Wow.
That's an extreme example, but it happens.
Wow, it happens. What else happens?
That's extreme.
We're going to find out in the rest of our interview with John Edward coming up in our next half hour.